on the tax side, of course, the Republicans don't want to see any tax increase, and the fear there is that in order to get the economy to start growing faster than it is, it's been a very, very slow recovery from the recession. Raising taxes is probably not the way to go. And we talk about raising taxes on the rich. I think the top 1% income earners, the threshold is something like $340,000, $350,000, which, you know, many small businesses might earn that much. Certainly, if you're a reasonably successful attorney or doctor, not an academic necessarily, but you know, someone of that level, or combined household incomes can easily reach $350,000 if you have two professionals. What would kick in by next year, 2013, on the spending side would be $136 billion in spending cuts. So $532 billion in spending in tax increases, and $136 billion in tax cuts. Excuse me, spending cuts. So the tax increases outweighs the spending cuts on the order of something like 3 to 1. Nevertheless, you know, it would make some, if it went into effect, the spending cuts would you know, affect a lot of families, and particularly you know, people in teachers unions or construction unions, and that's government unions, public unions, and you know, that can be quite vocal about that sort of thing. By the way, when we talk about cuts in federal spending, what is really happening is that the rate at which spending is going to increase has been reduced. So if you look at the plot of, if you were to plot federal spending against time on against time on the horizontal axis and spending on the vertical axis, it's an upward sloping line. Over time, it just keeps going up and up and up. What the sequestration would do, if we did go over the cliff, would be to shift that line down a little bit, but it would still be upward sloping. In other words, it would still be increasing. Washington would still be increasing federal spending, but not quite as fast as it otherwise would have. Fiscal cliff is a term that's meant to scare people. It's not catastrophic. Even if we go over this fiscal cliff come January 1st, I think probably Congress and the President will, by the end of 2013, will have found some kind of way of patching up the problem, of making it look like they've increased taxes in some ways, making it look like they've cut spending in certain ways, and really amounts to kicking the problem down the road, to be dealt with later. That's my expectation. That's what Congress and President have always done, and I wouldn't expect anything different in the future. So that means spending will not be cut as much as is threatened, and taxes will not be raised as much as is threatened.